right, we've got a project I want to share with you. I did a while back. I'm calling it Gardening Playground. What's happened here, the homeowner wanted to take out their driveway, started to crack, they're starting to get some slopes on it. So it was a good time to just refresh this area. They were tired of mowing, wanted a pathway that's going to come through here. So we were just going to start from scratch and remove all the brickwork. The different shrubs will be dug out and then transplanted back into this project. Sometimes what I'll do, I'll take my iPad, and you can use other softwares, and I just start kind of brainstorming, and I'll draw different diagrams. When you're working with rock, especially boulders, it's not always easy to exactly define what you want to do because you're going to get different shapes, different sizes, depending on what's available. I always like to work with what's available, and I usually just leave mounds like that. I'm going to work with that, and we're going to create a rock bed with a nice berm up using that, as well as when we run in some black poly edging to keep the weeds coming in from the side here. It's the most economical way to go. Take a look too, we've got these orange flags that mark sprinkler heads. We don't want to bury them, we don't want to damage them, and you could always unspin one of those sprinkling heads that were used for turf, and you could implement this into a drip system for the different trees and shrubs. Could really easily do that. Again, there is the soil. We don't plan on hauling any of that out. I'm also not going to dig out the turf. I just sprayed a grass killer, and then I went ahead and I took my weed whip. I didn't have a mower available at that time. Just ground it down super tight to the ground, and that way when we put the mulch on, it's not suspended up there. Here's the shovel, flat spade. We started digging our trench. Any of this turf that we dig out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to just add that to the different berms and create that elevation. Just a wonderful thing to do in landscaping, create small little mounds. I did another video on some of this black poly edging. Like I said, very economical. You can go ahead, take a look at that. That'll be in description, with a kidney bean landscaping bed that we put in. There's some anchoring posts, but we're mostly trying to keep these grasses over here, tall fescue, quackgrass, have a strong root system. It would get into that bed quickly if we didn't border it with something. All right, here's where the fun starts. Bringing out and working with those boulders. And these are at least 18 inches across. You're never going to move them. Remember the anchor boulders. And we're going to create some different effect using different 4 to 6 inch rock, some 1.5 inch rock. And you want to create a transition as you look up, that they work together and just mimic something that you see in nature in a canyon or a mountain type setting where rock has spilled down off the sides and it just crescendos up. That's our goal, but just on a much smaller scale. And here you can see it's coming together, and it still just looks like a pile of rock, but I'm already, as I'm working with it, envisioning having a little bit smaller textured rock come through that opening up over in here. And sometimes what I'll do, I'll actually switch and start working on a different part of the project. You can get stuck, and so I'll move to a different area, start working, you look back and forth, and sometimes then you'll start getting ideas again. And that's exactly what I did here. I had this soil. I started creating some other berms in different areas. And there you go. We're going to be actually planting right on there. So not only do we have a slope coming down, we also get some berms or contours fading away from that as that curved pathway weaves its way through. Check out this rock I've got up here. That actually came in with these other boulders, and it made a beautiful step. Since we had that existing soil on the high side, it created a nice transition to be able to step down. So just little things like that can make a big difference in a project. I bring this photo back up just to show you how turf, over time, just the grass and the rhizomes, the stolons breaking down, it slowly lifts itself up. This big of a lip here, and once we get some mulch on that, it would just flow over onto the sidewalk. So we did go ahead, we cut out some of this area to create a depression for what's called a riprap, mostly 6 to 8 inch boulders in there. And that way now that mulch, it's going to float down because it's on a slope. You can always rake it back a little bit, but mulch actually blends together pretty well with rock. And here we go. Now we've got some of those berms in place. We've taken the plants that we initially dug out, put them back in there. We've got a weeping white spruce, make a beautiful specimen upright plant in the back there, a nice hydrangea, some sedum. There's a great rock garden plant. And now we're at the next step. We went ahead, we took the 1.5 inch rock and we top dressed through those openings. Here again, you can see I used a little bit of the smaller mixed in. In here, we left it mostly just a bigger rock. So again, different textures. You never want to take a wheelbarrow and dump that smaller rock. You're going to cover up some of that other rock that you're trying to create that texture. So I always just take shovels and kind of top dress it when you get into that smallest rock. And once you start adding that mulch, look at that. It just really changes the whole effect of it. And I want to mention to always put your rock on the higher points in the project. That rock is going to stay up there, then it's not going to necessarily get into the mulch. If you reverse that and you put the mulch on the high points, wind, water, it's going to work its way down into the rock. So just a really important point if you like mixing the two together, which I absolutely love to do. Also, I look for colorful boulders that have different markings. That's a great way to highlight that rock. And the mulch is all on. A view from that point, you can see we did sprinkle in some smaller rock. You can always add rock to areas, take rock out, but there's so many little points in here now for the gardener to go ahead and start putting in plants they love to make this really, really just a special little area. By the way, I will have all these still photos. I'll have them on my website, gardenhike.com, and you can take a look at that. And it's nice to see the before and afters. And there's a picture from above. And isn't that just something? How we've got that curved pathway. There's the step down. We've got that nice decorative rock. And you can see I've feathered out some of the different rock up over here. There's a little bit down in here. And you could always add a little bit more. So this is, like I said, a gardening playground. You can change things, do variations. I've got a few other landscaping videos I've done also. If you're interested in small projects like this, to get some ideas, you can definitely take a look at those. Subscribe to the website if you like. You can also find them that way. Thanks for watching Garden Hike. I hope I gave you a few ideas in your landscaping projects. We'll see you again next video.